What's up with the one-sided battles? And how come no one ever noticed that? Today, we will talk about the top 10 one-sided battles. First of all, Sanji versus Zoro isn't a real battle. They're just messing around and think we won't notice. At number 10, we have Luffy versus Bellamy. After seeing Bellamy's spring fruit powers, it seemed like beating him would take more effort. But after all the build-up to Bellamy's attack, all it took was one punch from Luffy to knock him out. Luffy didn't even use his devil fruit powers. Bellamy's flashy moves weren't enough to take down Luffy. In ninth place is Zoro versus Pika. Pika hid inside a mountain using his devil fruit powers, but Zoro used his armament Haki to cut the whole mountain into pieces. Tried one last attack, covering his whole body in Haki and charging at Zoro, but Zoro used one quick attack to defeat him with his secret sword technique. Zoro was never in real danger. It felt like he was just annoyed by Pika's hiding. Eighth spot goes to Usopp versus Perona. Because Usopp was already so negative about himself, Perona's powers didn't work on him. When Usopp realized this, he turned the fight in his favor and used his 10-ton hammer to defeat Perona. Seventh place goes to Ace versus Blackbeard. Ace's flame fruit powers were completely stopped by Blackbeard's dark fruit. This made Ace almost powerless against him. Even though Ace knew he probably wouldn't win, he still fought hard, saying he would make Whitebeard king before using his final Flame Emperor attack. Sixth spot is for Kaido versus Luffy. This is one of the most famous battles in the whole series, and one of the most iconic fights in all of anime. Luffy finally unlocked the true power of the Gum Gum fruit, making the battle both exciting to watch and unforgettable. Fifth place goes to Magellan versus Luffy and Blackbeard. Magellan is one of the most overpowered characters in One Piece. His Venom fruit allowed him to completely defeat both Luffy and Blackbeard, leaving Blackbeard in pain and Luffy almost dead. The Vice Warden of Impel Down's ability to poison anyone near him, whether they touch him or just breathe his air, made both fighters helpless. They only survived because of a well-timed rescue from Ivankov. Fourth place goes to Kizaru versus the Supernovas. When we first saw Marine Admiral Kizaru in action, we learned how dangerous his light fruit powers are.
Here we go!
Calling this a fight is a stretch, as not one supernova could even scratch Kizaru. His invulnerability to physical attacks, along with the speed and strength of his moves, was far beyond what the supernovas could handle. They couldn't even understand his attacks. For third place, we have Kuzan versus the Straw Hats. When the Straw Hat Pirates went up against Marine Admiral, it was clear how outmatched they were. With his ice fruit powers, any hit that seemed to land on Aokiji would backfire, freezing his opponent. Even in his one-on-one fight with Luffy, Kuzan quickly overwhelmed the Straw Hat captain. The crew had no real chance of winning, and were only spared thanks to Kuzan's mercy. Second place goes to Zoro versus Mihawk. Mihawk wasn't bothered by Zoro's threats, and used a tiny dagger from his necklace to fight Zoro, who was using the three-sword style. Up until this point, Zoro hadn't been beaten in a fair fight, but against Mihawk, the world's strongest swordsman, Zoro realized how much further he had to go to reach his goal. First place is Shanks versus Kid. When Shanks faced the overconfident Captain Kidd, the battle was very short. Shanks won easily. Using his incredible Conqueror's Haki, Shanks completely overpowered Kidd and his entire crew with just one powerful strike.